Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Being Conscious. If you are visiting this channel for the very first time, I would recommend to subscribe to this channel if you are especially fond of content which raises your consciousness, which is not only pertaining to the spiritual dimension, but we will also talk during the course of this channel dimensions of the mind and the body. So, being conscious essentially means raising the consciousness of these three distinct elements: mind, body, and soul. So, let's talk about the seven spiritual law of success as we are going to culminate our series of the seven spiritual laws of success with this particular video. And the last but certainly not the least, if I would like to put it this way, that this particular law is the culmination, is the fruit of the seven spiritual laws of success which we have been talking about. And this law has the potency to keep the entire universe by your side. Just imagine the scene of the majestic scene of the Mahabharata, wherein the Lord of the universe, Lord Shri Krishna himself, was with the Pandavas. I'm just reminded of that famous narrative wherein Lord Krishna has to talk to both Arjuna and Duryodhana. Now Duryodhana and Arjuna both had approached Lord Shri Krishna, and because they wanted some support from him. So it turns out the entire narrative is so interesting. So Duryodhana, he tries to rush towards Lord Krishna, and it turns out that he is there just next to him. So Lord Krishna is having a good afternoon nap on that particular day, and this person Duryodhana is just sitting beside him, so that as soon as Lord Krishna opens his eyes, Duryodhana can start asking him. So the intention behind Duryodhana's mind, that thought process was, he wanted to be the first one to ask, whereas Arjuna, the eternal Sakha, as Lord Krishna called him, was sort of distant towards Lord Krishna, but he was positioned around his feet. Now, when Lord Krishna opens his eyes, guess what? He first looks at Arjuna, and Duryodhana starts arguing. After he opens his eyes, he first looks at Arjuna and he also looks at Duryodhana subsequent to that. So he looks at both of them, greets them, there was a mutual exchange of greetings, and then they start talking business, right? Like why these two gentlemen have come here. Now, Duryodhana is very fickle-minded in terms of, he's very agitated. He wants to get his purpose met. And he says, Lord Krishna, the moment he tries to ask Lord Krishna any help, Lord Krishna tells him, just stop. I saw Arjuna first, because as soon as I opened my eyes, he was the person who was there. So as per Niti, as per Dharma, he is the person who has the right to ask me a favor first. Now Duryodhana is completely instigated. He is petrified because he knew the capacity and the majesty Lord Krishna had, especially in terms of the Narayani Sena which was under him. Now Arjuna looked at the condition of Duryodhana and he actually gave him the first chance, let him take the first chance, because he had a lot of compassion even though he was subjected to such severe injustice. Now Duryodhana was frantically very happy, and he told them, so Lord Krishna gave them a proposal. At one side you have the Narayani Sena, and on the other side you have me. And I am completely weaponless. I won't use any weapon during the entire course of Mahabharata. So you have two options at your disposal. Now Duryodhana was quite astonished, and probably since he was thinking, because Arjuna has got the first opportunity now, so probably Arjuna will ask the Narayani Sena. But guess what? Arjuna didn't ask the Narayani Sena. He told Lord Krishna, he addressed him as Mukunda, and he said that, Lord Krishna, I will want you versus the Narayani Sena. Hearing these words of Arjuna, Duryodhana was completely ecstatic, because now he told in his mind what a complete lunatic person Arjun is. He had such a beautiful opportunity of taking the Narayani Sena, who is known for their valor and strength, but instead he chose this person who is going to be weaponless, without any weapons, or he is not going to participate actively in the war. He has chosen that. Now, to encash this opportunity, Duryodhan obviously he went on to ask the Narayani Sena. Now, you know what was the end of Mahabharata, right? So, why did I even talk about this story in this particular law? The law, the seventh law, which Deepak Chopra talks about, is called law of dharma, law of purpose. Dharma, the very root word called dharma, means to uphold something. Meaning, anything which upholds you is dharma. Now, the cosmic plan, the universal intelligence, only favors the person who is in some way or the other manifesting, or probably through his actions, thoughts and behavior is rooted in dharma. Now, if you talk about the word purpose, now there might be a school of thought which would say that purpose is a rich problem. Purpose is not suitable for people who are not so economically impoverished or economically well-to-do. But that's not the case. Every human being has a purpose. There are no extra people in this planet. And how do you break this down? Everyone wants to know the true purpose. Now, Deepak talks about three specific components in this law, and he gives us a very pragmatic guideline as to how you and me can access, or as to how you and me can capitalize on this law of dharma. The first purpose of each and every human being is to recognize, is to understand, is to realize that we are spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. We are spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. Now, this all sounds very fascinating, right? Most of us would have heard this thousands of times from different channels. But it is one thing to intellectualize it and the other thing to live it. Now, you can always keep saying to yourself that I am a soul, I am the consciousness, I am being, I am that formless entity. But if you just look at this scenario, let's say that your boss calls you and he has very bad performance to report on you. He has very critical feedback about you. Then suddenly, in a minute, in a second, you completely forget the consciousness that you are a being, you are a formless soul. You are not affected by the world. Nothing can destroy you, nothing can cut you. Suddenly that consciousness is wiped out. The point I am trying to drive through this analogy is, it is not sufficient to just intellectualize or to hear this fascinating spiritual ideals, but to breathe the spiritual ideals in its very core, to become a manifestation and epitome of that. That was a characteristic of an enlightened being. And this is a work in progress. Realizing ourselves, realizing consciousness, evolving our consciousness is a lifetime project. It is not something you do and complete, you abandon it. And people take countless lifetimes. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that people take many years to come to this realization or live this realization. But the starting point is to be exposed to these ideas, but that is certainly not the end point. The end point is to leave these ideas, is to make each and every teaching a part of your existence. That is what is meant by when he said, realize yourself. Understand that you are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Now, let's go to the second component. Each of us in this planet has unique talents. There is no second you. There is no second me. We all are unique, and that uniqueness makes us special. There are no extra people in this planet. And when we are able to monitor those unique talents, those unique skill sets, which makes us unique, and we polish them. We polish them to such a level of dexterity, to such a level of precision, that in one point of time, the world calls you wow. But to identify that is our primary responsibility. To identify what is that one thing which makes me lose track of time. Let me give you an intelligent question which you can ask yourself so that you understand, or you can understand what your talents or skill sets or purpose could be towards. Let's take a hypothetical scenario wherein you have all the money in the world at your disposal. You have all the money in the world at your disposal, and now you have to think about an activity, a particular engagement. What would you choose to do? Now, the answer to this question would reveal what would your true purpose be, and you'd thoroughly enjoy that activity, since now you don't have a compulsive strive, a compulsive need to do something for money, because you already have money. Now, what is that one thing which you enjoy doing? And what is that one thing which you have a certain skill set towards? Now, that one thing is what? To figure out that one thing is our main purpose. It is our dharma. And the third thing, and the most important thing, once you figured out what that unique talent is, you go into the world and give that talent with the mindset of service. Instead of saying what is in it me, when in exchange of the skill or the service I'm providing, go with this mindset, enter the world with this mindset. What can I give to the table? Suppose you are a person who's working in a multinational, in a corporate. Instead of always being very complaining about how slow the progress is, think about the ways through which you can contribute in the business, in your particular work domain, through the particular skill sets which you have. And every human being has a particular skill set. If you think that you are the least talented person, I would encourage you, I would invite you to deeply evaluate yourself. Because nobody is incompetent to such a degree. And if there is someone to such a degree, probably that person hasn't taken a look deep down. He hasn't taken a look deeper enough. And stop looking at yourself through the eyes of others. Nobody can know you more than you. We all have this habit of looking ourselves through the eyes of others, and this is the biggest illusion. Nobody in this world knows you better than you. And once you know what are your special gifts, what are the unique talents you can provide to the world, third, we approach that, you couple that, or you marry that talent with the attitude of service to the world. And by doing these 3 steps, we are aligning with the cosmos. We are aligning with the supernatural energy, the cosmic force, the cosmic power through which anything is possible. Now, this all sounds very fancy, but if you closely look at it, every successful person in this planet is aligned through the law of dharma. Let's take the example of Shah Rukh Khan, because he is so charismatic and so massively successful. In many of his interviews, there was a question to Mr. SRK that how would you like to spend the end days of your life, the dawn of your life, the sunset of your life? He said, I would like to finish my life, or I would like to breathe the last breath of my life front of the camera, giving a particular, working on a film or shooting a particular sequence for a movie or a commercial. Can you even imagine the level of passion, the level of involvement he has towards his craft? And now we all can see the fancy results. But he is in tune with the law of dharma. And he always says that I always feel that I have under-delivered. For the amount of love and money I have got, I always feel that I need to give more. I need to perform better. I need to add more value in terms of the entertainment I provide to the world. And you can realize now why people call him lucky, because he has aligned the cosmic force to work for him. This is exactly what the Pandavas did in the great epic of Mahabharata. The cosmic force there was Lord Krishna. They always had this this underlying current of dharma, and that led to them to win ultimately. I hope you really enjoyed this series of the 7 spiritual laws of success. If you really loved it, do share it with a couple of your well-wishers. Also, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed the content so far. Thank you so much. And I have some exciting content planned ahead in this channel to be released, wherein we will not just talk about the spiritual dimensions, we will also talk about the dimensions pertaining to the mind and the body, as to how we can raise our consciousness levels to the mind and the body. Because consciousness is life, consciousness is the soul in the body. So consciousness is all about the main focus of this channel. The main focus of this channel is going to be on improving yourself from A to B and from B to Z. And in the process, I am also going to improve, because this whole work of sharing this content and building this channel is to share all the contents which I have read through to the public, and in the process integrate the knowledge which I have read into my own personal wisdom. Thank you so much, and I'll meet you in the next video. Bye.